He slipped coming off, heading towards second base.
This is going to be a very interesting battle now with Mark Grace with runners at first and second, because with a slumping Andre Dawson on deck, you wonder just how many strikes Mark Grace will get. 1 ball and no strikes. Slicing fly ball down in the corner, going foul and out of play. How do you pitch to Mark Grace? Well, veteran Mike Lacoste has studied him, has pitched against him. And this is what he said about how to pitch to him.
Start him off with off-speed stuff, hopefully, and get ahead of him that way, and then go with the hard stuff away and have my defense play him away. I don't think he can hit the ball out of the ballpark against me here with the kind of movement that I have on my fastball.
So Mark Grace 2 on, hitting .750 in the LCS. And he strokes it to left, but Mitchell coming up to flag it, and Sandberg back to the bag.
Exactly what Mike Lacoste said. Pitch him away, playing him. Remember, he hit a home run in game number 1 in Wrigley Field. I talked to Mike Lacoste about that before the game. Said, listen, this is a totally different ballpark. The wind was blowing out in Wrigley Field. He does not think that Mark Grace has enough power to hit the ball out to left field in Candlestick Park. Totally different situation. Mike Schmidt and I were out here yesterday about this time, and it was blowing like crazy. It was blowing. It was cold. It's a beautiful night in San Francisco.
High pop fly, and the wind will not play any tricks with it. Mark Grace seals it up, 1 away. A reminder, join NBC Sports at 12:30 Eastern for NFL Live, win or lose.
In the seats, in the bleachers at left center at Wrigley here, and out at Candlestick.
Mark Grace, and that's a strike. Mark flied to left field in the first inning, hitting .667. Grace was drafted by the Cubs. He was one of 3 first basemen. In fact, he wasn't, I think he was like the 274th player drafted, as opposed to Will Clark, who was the #1 draft choice. And he drives one into deep right center. Back goes Maldonado, away back, and it is off the wall. Grace into second base with a long double. And the tying run is out there for the Cubs with Andre Dawson coming up. Grace came close to hitting that one out. So the ball by Smith followed by the ball by Grace. They were both ripped.
Pitch up in the strike zone. Grace, like Will Clark, a beautiful swing. Grace normally trying to go to left field. That pitch off speed and a mistake up. You got time to drive it hard to right center field. That's a power gap there too in right center, right between that 365 and the Christy Mathewson sign on the fence. That's what they call the tunnel.
And here is Terry Kennedy. Little chopper to Grace. He'll go for the front man to Dunston. Back to Grace. Pulled him off the bag. This spring, Mark Belanger was visiting the Cubs, and he noticed that Sean Dunston was gripping the ball the wrong way when throwing from the hole. And he was throwing sailors, and he might very well have gotten one off that time on that high throw to Mark Grace.
Well, he didn't really get a very good throw. Is exactly right, Vinny. A high throw from Grace at first, and he returns a high throw to him.
And almost balk. Yep, his left leg. He got the balk. Called immediately by Jim Quick.
Sutcliffe will break that left knee, trying to get the runner leaning the wrong way. Here you see the normal speed replay. This is the way the umpires and everybody else in the field will see it. Watch his left knee. You see it break? And if it breaks like that, you got to go home.
Problem with Rick Sutcliffe is everybody in the league knows that move. He's been around so long, and the umpires are always looking for it.
And you see the break.
To Butler. Scott Sanderson and left-hander Steve Wilson are up again behind Sutcliffe. Change, short hop by Grace. They get one, and they will not get the other. Now Roger Craig is going to argue that Sean Dunston was not on the bag. Grace short hopped a ball that was blistered. We'll see whether Dunston was cheating or not. The old neighborhood play. Get it and throw it if you're anywhere near the bag. And managers always feel that umpires so often make it an automatic call. There's the short hop. Now watch where Dunston is. He's on the bag, but where is his left foot? Can't tell from that angle. Roger Craig is saying that when Dunston caught the ball, his left foot was off the bag, and both runners should be safe. Watch from this angle.
A lot of times you'll get it in
oh,
territory. It definitely comes off the bag. Now remember, earlier in the game, Kennedy hit a ball down to Grace. Grace made a high throw to Dunston at second base, and it was questionable whether he was on the base on that one. He is definitely off the base on that double play ball.
Oh, that wasn't close.
There's no way you're going to get Butler.
He's single to left, and he punches one to Sandberg, to Dunston, to Grace.
It looks like the fingers came right over the top of the ball. They were together, and it was an overhand curveball.
Fastball, a showcase pitch to Mark Grace, ball one. Grace flied to left, doubled off the fence in right center. 1 for 2. Ball 2.
McCoss got an off-speed pitch up to Grace the last time. He drove it to the wall in right center. The game plan the Giants want against Grace is to pitch him away, play him away. Let's see if Brantley does it that way. Oh, off-speed pitch.
And Grace way out in front of it. And the count 2-1.
That was a beauty. Way out in front. That was a fine off-speed. Now watch the ball where the bat hits. See how far extended he is? All the weight gone. The ball just not there yet. That was a beautiful pitch by Brantley.
2-1. On the outside corner, and the count 2-2, and that made Mark Grace cock his head.
Here you got to look in the slow-mo of the hand, how it comes on the inside, and the ball just breaks down and away.
Fisted foul down the left field line, out of play. A couple of notes about Candlestick Park. Began construction in '59 and opened in '60 with a capacity of 42,000. They increased it to 58,000 when they enclosed it in 1972. And among other things, it started with natural grass. Then they installed artificial turf in the outfield and the infield. And eventually in 1979, they brought back the grass. Ball 3. Well, I guess this is the only ballpark that's gone from one to the other. Grass, turf, and then back to grass again. 3-2. So that'll put Grace aboard and bring up Andre Dawson.
Brantley upset. 3-2 pitch, not even close to the strike zone. There's the split finger. You can see the fingers split apart. Well, in a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Go to the fastball outside. Make him hit you out, just the way Mike Lacoste was talking before the game.
Grace at first, 2 out. Dawson will roll it to shortstop. Uribe the short way to Thompson. No run. 2 home runs all year. And here's Mark Grace. And he hammers one to right. Donnell Nixon plays it on a bounce. And the Cubs come right back to put the tying run aboard. Well, we have pointed out throughout the series just how even these two teams are. And look at those two, Mark Grace and Will Clark. A first-round draft choice, and the other pick like 274th.
24th round for Mark Grace. and 2 first basemen in that round ahead of him.
He finally went and played in the Alaska League. He played it with the North Pole Knicks, and that's when he started to play. You could say that's when. High foul off first. Grace trying to get under it. At the railing, reaches in, disappears. No play.
Here you see Grace going after the foul ball. Those are auxiliary boxes here at Candlestick Park. A lot of foul territory. That ball not even close to the playing field. If we were in Wrigley Field and had those seats not been there, those are temporary seats put in just for the playoffs, Grace would have had that ball.
A lot of gloves in there besides Marks.
There's somebody with the ball right there. It's not Mark Grace.
All right, Kevin Mitchell with the count 0-1, and he was helped by a fan. 1-1. Curveball and a high fly ball to left field. Mitchell on the track to make the catch. Grace tagging to second. The throw. They got him.
You can see that the play even surprised Kevin Mitchell a little bit. Thompson had come away from the bag. Take nothing away from Mark Grace. This is the way that Don Zimmer plays baseball. Let's not be afraid to make aggressive mistakes. Grace trying to get into scoring position is